Today, as we continue to look at the church in Laodicea, we reflected upon the fact that there's something that Jesus just finds totally unattractive, so much so that he spits them out. Now, we had another church, the church in Sardis, that had a big problem that Jesus just didn't like how they behaved. And there we learned that they were not interested in really to get to know Jesus intimately. And we looked at it, and it was clear that it was not to be misunderstood. Worship is not getting to know Jesus intimately. Worship is praising him for who he is. But in order to praise Jesus properly, you need to know who he is. So that was a problem in the church in Sardis. It seems that Laodicea has a bigger problem because Jesus is harsh enough to tell them that he just totally finds them unacceptable and will spit them out, which reminded us of basically being sent to hell. Like, I never knew you is even soft compared to that. So the question is, what is wrong with this church? So they even take it one step further, and they actually seem to not even wanting to be attractive to Jesus because they think they're actually self-sufficient. They have what they need. So in a sense of, we have to remember, we are talking to Christians here. These Christians seem to believe that they really don't need Jesus in their lives. Now, again, we have to be very careful here. This is not that they reject Jesus. No, not at all. They are Christians. They believe in Jesus. They believe that he has died for them. And that is good. And they put that into a little box and put that box away and say, look, I have a good life. I have everything. I have prospered. If I need Jesus, I will give him a call. I'll shout out. I'll cry out. But at the moment, I have no need. So why should I bother Jesus and make a nuisance? Well, there's another train of thought when you look at Christianity today, where, of course, many Christians are very comfortable with their lives. And that is because we have achieved as humans quite a lot in the world. The world offers us a lot, and we are almost more focused on entertainment. That is why worship has become entertainment rather than truly a praising of God, truly worshiping him. And when we look at the way how people then behave, is that a lot of Christians say it's good enough to go to church on a Sunday. That's a tick box exercise, and otherwise they don't need anything because the pastor takes care of all of that. And I don't need to have a relationship with Jesus. And that's already where we see how that fits the bill. Some churches go a step further, and they actually tell these Christians that they have authority, that they have certain powers, that they have the ability to claim what they need, and it will manifest itself. And they say that you just need faith, and you can speak to a mountain and it will move. And those are things that you can do. Well, of course, they have misread those passages. It is always according to the will of God, and you have to know exactly what the will of God is. Otherwise, no mountain will move if it is not for the will of God. Just because it's your will doesn't make any difference. And that is why you have to read James 4 very clearly. And that's very important because it is said there exactly why we do not have. So with that said, that is what it seems that there are issues here in this church. And those issues hinge around the kind of wealth or money that is enough to sustain a comfortable life. And most people have enough money for a roof over their head or food on the table. And there is a certain social security, which is great. It's good that nobody has to be hungry, but it also makes you lazy. And you think, hey, I don't need God. And that doesn't mean that God should take away food or a roof over your head to make you miserable and then cry out to God and need him. The Old Testament showed that with the judges, that was always that circular development of the Israelites. And we are no different, but we may be blessed all our lives and miss God completely in that sense. So we need to first understand that God is actually challenging us here because it's not about the money. Yeah, it's not about wealth. That is never what the kingdom is all about. We have to look at all the parables that Jesus gives us. All these parables are referring to us being servants. At the very best, a steward, like a manager of a household or something, or a manager of talents, whether that is money or actually completely different things, is not the problem of the parable of the talents. It is whether we use the things we receive from God, and everything we have is from God. Job made it very clear, I came with nothing into the world and I go out with nothing, and anything in between is from God, given to me, not because I'm such a great guy, not because I'm such a great steward as such with money, because I'm a money maker. No, it is whether you apply it in line with what it means to be successful in the kingdom. And that is what we often miss. We have to ask ourselves, what are we to do actually in this life? Are we to build the kingdom? Well, yes and no. The kingdom is not of this world, it is of heaven. We know that one day we will be in the New Jerusalem. And the New Jerusalem is made out of people, all the people that become born again. Those are the people that God chose for Christ already before time began. And we are here to help these people by giving the gospel to anyone who doesn't know Christ yet. If they respond positively, we have to teach them. And if we want to teach anyone, we have to study first in order to then be able to teach. And that is how we build the kingdom in heaven, not on earth. It's not about a government or so. No government that ever said it's Christian was really Christian. The world always influenced the government. And because not everybody in any country are real, true Christians. Yeah? Many say, I am a Christian just because it's comfortable, it's easy, it's socially accepted. Not anymore these days as much as it used to be. But that is why then a lot of Christians suddenly become anxious and think like, oh, the world is going to fall over and become all evil. No, the world always was evil, and we have seen that many times. So we can't guarantee a good world. The only person who can guarantee whatever is happening is God. So what is it then about if it's not like setting up some kind of a Christian government or so? Well, it is about something completely different. We are here to be sanctified. That's the only reason why you're still alive, because you're being changed, transformed, and you're here to help others also in their transformation, to encourage them, to teach them what really the Word of God says. And that is why we read the Word of God and study it, not just read it. We try to find out what is it that makes us attractive for Jesus. In Matthew 6, verses 31 to 33, we can read that very clearly. Jesus tells us what we are supposed to do and why we are here. And that is important for every Christian to note. But specifically here for this church, he points out things that they should buy from him. And of course, he doesn't mean that we should literally buy it with money. He just points out that they are falling already, thinking wrong, because actually you can't buy it from Jesus. This is pointing a finger at them and saying you are completely wrong if you think that what you need you can buy. No, what you really need is something you can't buy. You have to get it from me. And the question is, how do we get anything from Jesus? Yeah. Well, it's simple. We just ask. Again, James 4, we can look at that. Just ask and you will receive. Now, the question is, what is it that makes us attractive, or specifically this church? But that means all churches, every Christian. Yeah, we should take note. What does Jesus actually tell us that is important for us to have, so that we are attractive and we are either refreshing or have these soothing elements that make us attractive for Jesus? Yeah, what are these three things? These are the things we will look at next time, and then discuss how we can attain them and how we can become therefore attractive to Jesus, that he wants us actually, and hopefully we want him likewise.